All right, what's going on, everybody? This is going to be a shorter video compared to what we normally do. It's not one of our normal full-length podcasts. We're basically just going to be recapping the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And it was a damn good Super Bowl. It was a damn good Super Bowl. Very heavy defensive game. And obviously, we got to talk about the halftime show. I'm going to take most of the footwork when it comes to the halftime show. I have a lot of thoughts and opinions on it. And I'm going to let Money lead the way when it comes to the game. I'm just going to add my thoughts in here and there. But first and foremost, before we get to this breakdown, how are you doing today, Money?
Man, I'm great, man. What about you?
I'm good, bro. I'm good. You enjoy the game?
Yes. Well, I'll say yes, I enjoyed it because it was going the way that I wanted it to go, man. We had Polk County in the building for the game, man. So yes, I was super excited. My boy Quinny, he got him a ring. I was excited for him, man.
Yeah, you say he coaching for them. Yeah, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty dope for sure. Congrats to him. Congrats to Tyrese Knight. I think that's how you say his name, right? Tyrese Knight. He got a ring as well. So shout out to them.
Class of 28. He graduated in 18. And then the ref was from Polk County.
Oh wow! So we had a couple guys out there, and then if we expand it further, it was a bunch of Florida boys. You know, Pop delegates from Florida. So we had a bunch of Florida boys out there. So congratulations to everyone that even made it. You know, but 29-13 was the final score. How do you feel about that,
bro? I'm gonna be real. I thought it was gonna be a shutout. That's how it looked like. It was
like that. It started off looking like it.
And my mom was like, nobody wants to make NFL history and be shut out. She's like, go other team, go. I said, Mom, they got 6 Super Bowl rings. They are the rivals of my team. Do not be cheering for them.
Yeah, it's like y'all want enough, bro. Imagine the Patriots getting shut out in the Super Bowl. That would have been something. But definitely it got off to a bad start.
Jay, no team has ever been shut out in the Super Bowl.
I know. There's been a lot of blowouts. We had some teams getting, boat race, but there's never been a shutout. It would have been definitely, man. But, I mean, right out the back, in my opinion, I feel like the Patriots are playing way too conservative. The first half, obviously, we both saw the defenses dominate from both ends, and it was really intense. Seattle was keeping pressure on Drake with only 4. And from the history of the Super Bowl, when we watch it, if you can get pressure with 4 in the Super Bowl, you're going to win. We saw it happen with Pat twice when the Bucs was getting pressure with 4 and then the Eagles getting pressure with 4. Whenever your team can get pressure with 4, the other team's in trouble. And, the Patriots are keeping pressure on Sam, but it wasn't to the same effect as Drake. Drake was sacked 3 times in the first half. I mean, and some of his hits was under pressure. A bunch of leading to a few of his throws being inaccurate and off target. At halftime, it was 9-0. And I was a little worried for Seattle because their superstar receiver, JSN, was held 1K in the first half. He did not have that impact in the game that everyone thought he would.
Bro,
one person who stood out in the first half. Huh?
He didn't have an impact at all, bro. Like he didn't do anything.
Nope.
So
the only player who stood out was Money Beloved K9, who had 94 rushing yards in the first half. And Witherspoon, I say it was my favorite to win the defensive MVP of the game. He had a sack. So I was like, okay, we're going to see. But it was so many guys on defense making plays, which I guess is harder to pick someone. And then you can't deny the only bright spot on the Seattle's offense was Kenneth Walker III.
Jay, here's something I got to say about Witherspoon first before you continue. Witherspoon, he graded as the highest rated cornerback from Pro Football Focus, the highest rated cornerback by the end of the season. He was a baller, bro. He showed, and remember, he was one of our X factors. We said he has to be an X factor, and he was an X factor because that interception for a touchdown was due to him. Because he hit the quarterback. And then the other X factor, doggone Woolen, got mossed.
I'll be honest, bro. Reed Wilson might get traded this offseason. I don't know what happened to him. He went from being the stud his rookie year, the player we expected to be Richard Sherman 2.0, but now it's like I don't know what to think of him. It's like you're so inconsistent. You're getting beat deep when a player as fast as he is should never get beat deep. Why are you getting beat deep, Reed? And it just looks bad. And then you get beat by Mac Hollins, to an older receiver who's not really – he's not a top receiver in the league, and just gets beat by him. No disrespect to Mac, but it's like this is how that should be beating Rick Willen, and that's what we're seeing. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's not with Seattle next year.
Man, that's concerning, man, because it's like because Josh, he played good at the other cornerback spot. They got our boy Nick. We call him Nick E. That's our nickname for him. But Nick E, he plays he plays everywhere. He plays he's versatile. And that's the type of player we like. He can play slot corner, he can play safety. And you talked about it. You said the Ravens had that in Kyle Hamilton. And looking at it, I think he's more versatile than Kyle Hamilton because he's much faster and just as big. Yeah. He's like an inch shorter, but he's like Kyle Hamilton runs what, a 4.5 maybe? And he runs what, a 4.3? Yeah, 4.3. And when he said, I'm gonna go out there and run a 4.3, he ran it. We already were like, yeah, we're drafting him first round. Like he would have gotten past either one of our teams if we're drafting, and we were right.
Stud, man. He's been an absolute stud for them. New England finally scored in the fourth quarter, but you could see the life of New England was just gone at that point. It was already sucked out of him. Drake May, as much as I have love for him, he looked like an inexperienced quarterback. And it hurt me to see him struggle so much. Like he just looked rattled from the jump. And it was bad. And we called it. Christian Gonzalez had to step up and show us that he's this guy. And I feel he 100% showed that.
Bro, he looked like
he was making plays out there. Huh?
He looked like the best corner on the field.
Yes, he did. He was making plays. He was guarding down the field. It was a couple breakups that he made that could have been touchdowns if he didn't make a defensive play the way he did. He 100% stepped up. Gotta give him his props. And then your favorite player from the draft, Will Campbell.
I don't know what to say, bro.
I don't know either. I don't know what to say either. That boy was looking like stir fry. They had the Migos. Somebody clipped him during the game, like all the bad plays, and they had put the Migos stir fry over it. Woo, woo! Every time he get whiff, it's like woo, woo. It was bad. Oh man, but yeah, he looked bad, money. He allowed league worst 14 pressures
in the playoff run. Hey Jay, in a playoff run or that game?
No, in that game. He allowed 14 pressures in the Super Bowl. He even acknowledged a week earlier in the conference championship that he was, not playing it well and he was still struggling with help. That's not what I want to hear from our starting tackle. We're chipping and we're giving him help and he's still struggling. That's not what we want to hear, bro. So he allowed 29 pressures throughout their 4 games in the postseason run. That's the most since 2016.
Yeah, you know what's funny? There was a clip of him saying, I will protect the quarterback or I die on the field trying. And I guess he was down on the field trying, bro.
He else was dying. I told you, man. He just woo, like dang. They are mixing this boy. It was bad, man. But hey, he will be playing left guard next year. So New England just need to go ahead and sign a tackle from free agency or try to draft somebody else. But Will Campbell cannot play your left tackle next year. In the biggest moment when you needed him the most, he did not come through. We can't put all the blame on Drake. You gotta put it on that offensive line.
The whole offensive line looked bad,
whole offensive line was terrible, and he looked like the worst of the bunch.
Bro, I was watching that game, and I was like, you know what? I need to rewatch that game and count and see how many seconds Drake may have because they would have had to put him in that Tua offense. Hike throw,
Yeah, it
hike
was
throw.
bad.
And they talk about Josh McDaniel being such a great offensive guru. Where's the plays to put your quarterback in position to succeed, bro? This is the biggest stage. Why aren't you throwing short passes or something? Like Jay, I'm looking at throwing screens and jump. It's like, bro, come on, man. You can't throw screens the whole game.
No, yeah, it was because they're trying to alleviate the pressure. They didn't make any adjustments. That's another thing I saw too. I felt like it was a couple times where okay, they're doing this. Once I seen them bring Witherspoon, it's like okay, they're really trying to keep pressure on you. So this is how we gonna counter. Whoever that slot receiver is that blitzing of, you are the hot read. So the moment he comes crashing down, that's where we're getting the ball to. And they didn't make those adjustments. They didn't make any adjustments the whole game. They just sat there and let Drake get killed. And I'm like, I just don't understand. And people talk about McDaniels being, excuse me, not McDaniels, Josh Daniels being this great coach. That's where you show that you're a great coach. Make those adjustments. And he just simply did not. He didn't make any adjustments that will help his team be successful in the second half or the first half. And with it being the Super Bowl, I felt like this is the time for you to, all right, let's make this pivot because our left tackle's getting remixed over here like it's 2002. So let's go ahead and make some adjustments so that can stop. And they didn't. Yeah. They didn't do it. And then that's why the result was what it was.
Hey, Jay, I'm watching the game, right?
6 times, bro.
I'm watching the game. I'm like, bro, me and you probably could have got on the field and got a sack how they were playing.
One of them boys like Swiss cheese, man. It was bad.
6, yeah, bro. Some quarterbacks don't get sacked 6 times in 6 games.
Yeah. So he was sacked 6 money. He was hit about 18.
Imagine if he was an immobile quarterback, how many times he'd have been sacked.
I know, right? That's the thing. That was the only, and he was already dealing with a shoulder injury, which doesn't help the situation. But yeah, I mean, Seattle was a better team. We said it before the Super Bowl. That defense, man, they've had the best defense all year, and it really showed on the stage. You know, Darnold wasn't that great. He was 19 of 38 for 202 yards, a touchdown. He was sacked once, so his offensive line did him some favors. You know, ASN, who I mentioned, had 1 catch in the first half. He finished with 4 for 27. Cooper Kupp, not someone I thought would play as good as he did. He had 6 catches for 61 yards. A.J. Bonner had 4 catches for 54 yards and a touchdown. And the Super Bowl MVP himself had 27 carries for 135 yards. He had a touchdown call back. He was averaging 5 yards a carry. Just a dog, man.
Jay,
when the games matter most, your big dogs show up. Damn showed up.
What his stats would have looked like if he hit it? That was like a 60, 70-yard run he had. That got called back.
179, if I remember correctly.
No, he'd have been at 200.
Well, at that point in the game, he would have been at 179.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because man, that he did what he wanted against them, bro.
Yeah.
Like he at 5 yards a carry, bro, and then he had as many. Then he had as many catches as your star receiver who was on vacation.
Yeah. He definitely showed up in a big way. And on the Patriots side of the ball, I mean, it's funny because when you look at 27 of 43, 295 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a QBR of 79. Outside of the 2 interceptions, it's not terrible on paper. He also had 5 carries for 40 yards. But, man, Drake was under constant pressure. They couldn't run the ball to save their life. Drake was their leading rusher. Ramondre had 7 carries for 23 yards. 3 yards a carry is not good enough, money. You know that, and I know that.
What about the other running back? I forget his name off the top of my head because they say he was an explosive one. He's supposed to be Mr. Do everything, and he was locked up to Henderson. Henderson didn't do anything. I didn't even know he was on the field.
He carries for 19 yards.
See, I didn't know he was on the field.
Yeah. Their bright spots, Mac Hollins had 4 catches for 78 yards and a touchdown. Florida's own Pop Douglas had 5 for 45. And then the guy who was supposed to be on the revenge tour had 3 catches for 37 yards. Stephon Diggs, who's supposed to be that guy who said he still got it. It ain't look like it. I thought he wasn't. I didn't see him targeted so much to the point I had to look up if he was in the game. I'm like, is Diggs hurt? Did I miss something? Stephon Diggs is a no-show.
Did he mess up your parlay? Because one of my cousins called me and said, doggone Diggs messed his parlay up. He needed one more catch.
I didn't bet on this game, which is funny enough. I probably should have made some bets, but all my bets would have been tailored towards the Seattle because I knew they were going to win. You know, like that's who I picked before the game, so I wouldn't bet on the Patriots do anything positive. You know, it just came down to the better team, and damn. And like I said, Sam Darnold wasn't sensational. He played good enough not for he knew I can't turn the ball over. I turn the ball over here, that's going to hurt my team. Both defenses were playing great, but it came down to turnovers. Like I said, who's going to turn the ball over first is going to be the one to cause their team to lose. Granted, Drake did good not turn it over until the middle of the third. Then he finally fumbled, but even before that, they are already in bad situation.
So you're gonna have a turnover if you get hit dang near every play. As soon as I drop back, my left tackle getting treated. Oh, I'm showing you what Cuz said. How's it going, Cuz?
Okay, what's up? But yeah, what you saying?
Like, bro, like any of us would have been hit, fumbled, getting hit that many times. He's dropping back to pass, getting hit every single play. It's like, come on, bro. Like, you're getting hit by these guys who are big guys. You're not getting hit just by corners. Defensive tackles are hitting you. Like the whole D line is doing whatever they want against you.
You don't even stand a chance. It was bad. It was bad out there. So hopefully New England. Actually, not hopefully. I don't want to say New England win. They had their fun in the sun. Let somebody else have theirs. Shout out to Darnold being the first quarterback from his class to bring him home, man.
Bring out who was in his class so everybody know. The so-called superstar MVP quarterbacks that were in his class. And he won the first one.
Josh Allen, Baker Mayfield, Josh Rosen. I think all those guys were in the first round with Sam. So
they just drafted the right quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
The Jets
is just a clown, so.
Yeah, definitely. That's what Cuz said for us.
Good.
You know, Cuz is a Dolphins fan. So
yeah.
So hey, I was hoping they would make history, bro, and get shut out. I would have laughed because they already made history multiple times. The first team to go undefeated and lose in the Super Bowl.
Which is a bad look. And you know what's funny? You bring that up. I still think that's one of the greatest teams we've ever seen. Like, I know they lost the Super Bowl, but that's still one of the greatest teams of all time. Brady threw for 5,000 yards. Freaking him off 23 touchdowns. Crazy season, man.
Yeah. It was great seeing them lose, though. Were you? Because I remember weren't we at Perillo House hanging out, and it just felt good to watch them lose. Man, I had a smile on my face when they lost that game.
I was not there, sir.
Oh, okay, but yeah, man, I had a smile on my face when I saw them lose, and then they lost another one, man. It was good to see them lose, man. And here's the thing, though, Jay. Drake need to understand this because Dan Marino. Because another thing I don't think people knew, Drake was the second youngest quarterback to make it to a Super Bowl. You know who the youngest was?
Big Ben.
Dan Marino.
Oh, Dan Marino was the youngest? Oh, Big Ben's the young win. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Dan Marino, he made it his second year. And you know what's crazy, Jay? He never went back.
Never went back. Yeah, and a lot of people was like, oh, well, this is one sports personality I listen to. He believes that the Patriots are ahead of schedule. He thought they would get there in 3 or 4 years if Drake kept going on the trajectory he's on. So he believes they will be back. And I mean, the way they looked outside of the, Drake playing bad, I do believe he'll be better. He'll get better. Because look at Patrick's first playoff run, his first Super Bowl. He wasn't all that great. He threw 2 interceptions in the Super Bowl. Look at Tom Brady. He threw 1 touchdown the whole postseason. So, he's still young. I'm not going to count him out, obviously. Like I said, he's product of UNC, so I always going to support him. But it was bad. It was bad showing for him.
He need more weapons, bro. I'm gonna just call it what it
Yes,
is.
he needs more weapons. Absolutely.
Hey,
I like Hunter Henry, but they was tattooing Hunter Henry ass. Did you? They was knocking the snot out that nigga. I was like, damn. They say, Hey, after the third one, he just laid there like, hey man. They was tattooing his ass, boy.
Hey Jay, the offensive line was looking bad. The tight end getting tattooed every play.
Bro, it was bad, man. It was bad. Every time Hunter got that ball thrown, I'm like, damn, they really hit him. It was one pass, the ball was uncatchable. They still hit Hunter. I'm like, hey, they really trying to take this dude out the game.
Hey, you see what they did to Diggs on the sideline, right?
Yeah, they pushed him down like he was a little boy. He gonna get mad, and obviously that's Diggs and his persona. But
hey, that dude teed off on him when he got mad. He got mad. He got teed off on him too after he got mad.
Yeah, it was. Seattle looked tough, man. They look like a tough defense, boy. They was definitely out there playing their brand of football. So that's definitely shout out to Seattle. Much deserved. You know, usually we're like, the better team than the better team won. No other way to put it. The better team won.
I don't think anybody in the AFC would have beat Seattle how they were playing.
Nah, not like that, boy. Oof. Because, you know, Pat Surtain, he's salty because he feel like it should have been them playing Super Bowl, which I totally get. Your quarterback got hurt. Anytime a team's quarterback get hurt, sadly, your season's probably over. And their quarterback got hurt, and he felt they would have beat the Patriots. And they were in a close game with New England with the backup quarterback. So I understand why he feel that way. And he was like, I like Seattle by a lot. He was one of the few people that were saying, Seattle by a lot. And so, you know, Seattle went out there and won. I ain't had them putting up that many points, but I had them 17-9.
Hey Jay, I don't think his team would have won. The Cortland Sutton would have been on. He'd have been on the sideline, get hit like that every play. He'd have been like, Coach, don't put me back out there, bro.
I mean, it comes down to, do you think Denver's offensive line is better than New England's offensive line?
Yes.
And if the answer is yes, then it would have been a better game.
I think yes. What do you think?
I agree with you too. Like I said, injuries are a part of the game. It's unfortunate. You know, we would like to love to see that. You know, the last year's DPOY playing in a Super Bowl with, you know, one of the second best defense in the league versus, you know, the first defense in the league. So that would have been an even bigger defensive battle. I always think it's funny because you always see these top defenses go with each other. When these top defenses like that, it's usually a high scoring game, which is funny enough because it's like you would think they'll stop them, but it's like, no, it's going to be 35-30 going into the fourth. So,
yeah. Okay, I'm going to bring this part up, and then we're going to talk about the halftime show. We're going to talk about a little bit about the commercial and then talk about MVP. Or do you want to talk about MVP now?
Go ahead. How can go?
Okay. So I'm going to talk about the past few Super Bowls, right? And I'm going to just call it what it is. It looks like the NFC is a stronger division. I'm going to just call it what it is. Okay, so I'm going to go back. I'm not going to go with heartbreak. I was going to do top 10 years, but I'm going to go to 9 because I'm not going to bring heartbreak for you. So in 2017, New England beat Atlanta, right? Mm-hmm. 2018, Philly beat New England. 2019, New England beat the Rams. 2020, KC beat the 49ers. 21, Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. We already know the Bucs won. 22, the Rams beat the Bengals. 23, KC beat Philly. 24, KC beat the 49ers. 25, Philly beat KC. If you take out Patrick Mahomes, bro, it looks like the NFC wins maybe 8 of the last 9.
Yeah. And it's funny because if you look at it on paper, the AFC have the better quarterbacks. So you would think more of those Super Bowls would go
7-9. My bad, because 7-9 because Brady won 2 of them with New England. So 7-9.
And Brady, honestly, with that, Brady's the anomaly because he played for the AFC and the NFC.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So he's the really anomaly. But if you look at, like I was saying, man, it's so much. I lost my train of thought. What was we talking about?
No, you're talking about how everybody says the AFC has the better quarterback.
Oh, yeah, the AFC. AFC, if you look at the AFC and their quarterbacks, they have the better quarterbacks on paper. You have Allen, you have Burrows, you have Lamar, you have Pat. You know what I'm saying? You have Drake May. You can keep going down the list. If you look at the AFC quarterbacks compared to the NFC quarterbacks, their quarterbacks are better. But when it comes down to that dance, boy, NFC, them defenses be showing up, man. Because that Rams defense is nasty. That Burrows face with future Hall of Famer Aaron Donald. That defense was nasty. That Bucks defense was nasty. That Brady had Patrick Mahomes diving, throwing the ball, hitting people in the face.
Yeah.
That Eagles defense that Pat went against was nasty. This defense we watched yesterday, Seattle, nasty. So, man, it's looking like defense wins championship, man. I hate to say it, being an offensive minded guy, but when it comes to that last dance, them defenses really be stepping up, and that be it.
Yeah, and then we talk about this last one. You know, the Broncos didn't get there, but the Patriots did, and they got stomped by Seattle. So you know what, bro? It looks like the NFC had a better defenses. Like we say, the AFC had a better quarterbacks. NFC had a better defenses. That's why they be doing what they do to the quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it looks like it, sadly.
Okay. You want to get controversial, bro? You want to talk about the halftime show? Because I know you've been wanting to talk about it.
Yeah. You said you want to talk about the K9 some more, or you good?
Well, you know, K9, he was the first running back to win the MVP award in like 28 years. The last one to win it played for the Broncos. And I know who you know. I mean, you know who I'm talking about, don't you?
Yeah.
TD.
Terrell Davis. Yeah.
Yep. And the kicker, the Seattle kicker had an NFL record 5 field goals in a game.
I thought he was gonna win MVP at first. The way he was playing, he was the only one that scored. So I'm like, Jason Myers going to be the first kicker in history Super Bowl MVP.
You know, he scored more points than a lot of players. He scored like 200. He was scored like 200 points.
Yeah, he was money. He's a good kicker. He's been a good kicker all year for them. And on the biggest stage, he's like, I got you. And he did.
A good kicker don't do that. That's a great kicker. That's a different 5. Come on, bro. And then
wasn't rattled, he wasn't swayed.
Yeah, and then K9 with his 135 yards was the most by a player in the Super Bowl. So in a while. So, you know, he did what he needed to do. He had 161 scrimmage yards. Without him, I don't think Seattle wins.
No, for sure. I mean, the way he was playing is hard to say, man. So, I mean, I'm a firm believer, too, of this since we're talking about him. He will not be in Seattle next year. He will be on a new team, and I think the Super Bowl is going to help him get that bag that he's looking for.
Prediction. Where do you think he goes?
I don't know. Carolina's the favorite from all the articles I'm seeing because we're going to lose Rico because we're not trying to play Rico. But Carolina seems to be the favorite to pay him.
Let me ask you this, right? So why would you bring in K9 if you didn't want to pay Rico and you paid your other running back?
Bad decision to pay him first and foremost. But you bring in K9 because he's the better running back. I mean, as awesome as Rico was for us last year, when we got to the playoffs, he did not show up. You know who did show up in the playoffs? K9.
Oh yeah, the whole playoffs. I'm gonna just call it what it is. I don't think Seattle lets him walk. I think they give him the bag. I think they're gonna. I don't even think they can
tag him. I don't think they can tag him.
I think they're gonna give him the bag.
I think he walked because he's earned a big contract, and I don't know if Seattle wants to pay that. Right now, the team is set up very favorable. Sam Darnold's on a very nice contract for them. You know what I'm saying? A lot of the guys are locked up. Only person you really got to worry about is Jason. I believe his contract is up after next season. So you got to lock him up long term, especially with that season he just had regular season. he's going to be worth some money. So we shall see.
You might be able to pay him less because you would be like, hey, you had a regular season, but where were you in the playoffs? He's a great receiver, but they might try to pay him less because of that. But it's like
17 games to 4 games. Ain't nobody trying to hear that.
I agree with you. He's a great receiver. He looked like the best player on a team in a regular season. And then K9 was like, hold on, I ain't got to split carries with Zach. Hold on, let me
definitely stepped up with Zach went out. Yeah. So.
And remember, I said that, didn't I say that? What I say when Zach got hurt? I was like, K9 is going to have to do what he do, and he did his thing.
Yeah, he definitely stepped up for sure.
I think they're going to pay him. You know why? Because, like you said, JSN, his contract is next year, right? You want to at least try to run it back and win another one. And I think if they might, did they tag him?
Hard to win back-to-back money.
They might tag him.
It's hard to win back-to-back. We ain't seen back-to-back in 20 years.
No, KC went back-to-back.
In 20 years before that.
Are you sure New England? Yeah, I don't even think New England went back-to-back, did they? Shoot.
Yeah, 20 years ago.
Yeah, shoot, yeah. Yeah, it's been a while.
So it's not, I mean, no disrespect to Seattle. I don't see them going back-to-back. It's hard, man. It's hard to go back-to-back. And I don't think this team is generational. I think they're a great team this year. They're the best team in football. We give them props, but I don't see a generational team.
You know how you went back-to-back, Jay? A Hall of Fame quarterback. That's how you went back-to-back.
Yeah.
And Sam Darnold is good.
Is Sam Darnold that? I don't think he's that. If he pull it off, then hey, he clearly is.
You said what I said. You said what I was about to say. I think he's good, but you know, you see all these lists coming out, these guys coming out talking about all these quarterbacks that are better than Sam Darnold. Let the man at least enjoy his 24 hours. Come on, bro.
Let him enjoy it.
All these other quarterbacks, there's no guarantee they would have did what they did. They have some of the quarterbacks they mentioned have better weapons.
True. And it's funny because I've seen so many sports personalities be like, Sam Darnold's not the better quarterback, which I agree with that. I think Drake is better than him. But what we seen on Sunday night, Sam was the better quarterback. When the moment gets big, Sam has stepped up. He's trying to rewrite that narrative because you know what, the Vikings, almost big, he was awful. He's rewrote that narrative. He went toe-to-toe with Stafford, and he went out there on the biggest stage knowing I got to do too much. I just got to not turn the ball over. As long as I don't turn the ball over, we good.
Hey, Jay, all I got to do is hand that ball to that dog in the backfield. He going to do what he need to do.
Yeah, basically. That's all I got to do. Give him the ball.
Because he going to get us there, and that's what he did. So I'm going to say Sam Darnold, I'm happy for him. The dude, he got to change the narrative. Everybody's like with the Jets, oh, he's seeing ghosts, all these other things, and he got to do what he got to do. And I'm happy
that came from him, sadly. You know that when he was with the Jets?
Yeah. Okay.
He sat down the sideline. He came back. He's like, I'm seeing ghosts. And that followed him. It followed him for the rest of his career. So
yeah. All right, bro. We're gonna get real controversial. Hold on.
Yes, we are.
Hold on, I got something for it. Make sure you all like, comment, and subscribe. We're gonna get real controversial, y'all. So if you want to hear controversial, we got something for you.
All right. So before we get into it, what did you think of the halftime performance?
What I think? I liked it.
You liked it? Okay. What did you like about it?
All right. We got what's good. We're good. What about you? That's Jared Jerron. How's it going?
What did you think of what did you like about the halftime performance?
I thought it was interesting. I liked it. I liked that he added a lot of different things. The rumor was he was going to wear a dress and he didn't wear the dress. He had a lot of celebrities in the halftime show that people probably didn't notice. He had Lady Gaga, he had Cardi B, which were a few.
Mm-hmm.
Jared
All right,
Dron
so
said they need to diversify.
They did, and they did a good job. So before I get into this, one thing I want to say is, did you know In Living Color did a special, a live show in the halftime?
JU let me know. JU let me know that they had Jessica
Yes,
out.
Jessica was there. So Living Color was like, they wanted to do something special. They partnered with a bunch of people, and it was like, obviously going against the Super Bowl is a dead mission. Every time you go against Super Bowl, you fail. And they said, what if we did it during the halftime? So they did special from the moment, the final snap of the first half, and set a timer on screen so viewers can see that, so they know they're not missing any of the game, and end the show at the exact moment right before kickoff. A strategic move by the Wayans brothers. And you want to know the success of it? Because back then they had like marching bands playing. The NFL lost 25% of their viewership because of the Wayans brothers doing that.
Wow.
So if you're the NFL with billionaires who are very confident and full of themselves, how do you combat a popular black show taking 25% of your viewers from the halftime?
Get a black artist.
No, you get the biggest star in the world. And you know who the biggest star in the world was that year?
Who?
This layup money. Come on.
Prince or Michael Jackson?
Michael Jackson. So they had a marching band playing, and then Living Color stole their viewership. The following year, Michael Jackson was headlining the halftime show. And after that started. So the Wayans brothers started us getting these big artists performing halftime because the NFL didn't want to lose that viewership ever again.
Hey, Jay, Gerald Ron said, what's good? What's good, man? We good over here. Look at what doggone one of them two said, Jay. Look at what one of them two said.
Bruh. If it's not, oh my goodness. Okay. Anyway, moving on. Let's focus. So, all right. So, do you understand? So, the big thing is last week I said it's going to be either a mockery or it's going to get political, and I was correct. It got very political. And out the back, it showed the sugarcane fields, which touched on Spanish colonization of sugar, also referencing slavery in the Caribbean, bringing to light of their land, but it was slavery in the U.S. So that didn't personally hit for me, but I understood what they were saying. And then the lady at the bodega owns the last Puerto Rican establishment in Williamsburg due to the gentrification of Williamsburg, is a Caribbean social club in New York. Williamsburg used to have a large Puerto Rican community, but they have not recently, but over time, they have tried to get all the Puerto Ricans out of there. Obviously, like I said, and they've been threatening her. The old lady's name is Tonita. If I said that wrong, please forgive me. But they tried to remove it, get her to sell, and she refuses to sell. She's been a pioneer and not allowing that to happen. So,
what about the electricity thing when they were standing on top of the light poles? You know what that reference? Okay.
Yes. So that leads to the power poles represent the constant power outages and issues with their power grids in Puerto Rico. And my thing is the thing as a whole to me was, okay, we're doing this to show Puerto Rico wants their sovereignty. You know, they want to, that's how I take it. I take it as Puerto Rico, they want to be independent. They want to be their own country. And it's like, so you do this, but you want the U.S. to help. You don't, but you want the U.S. to help, and you want these resources to help fix the problem, which we got to pick a side of the fence to be on. Either you want our help or you don't want our help. And they have Martin, the guy singing. He was singing a song, and one of the lyrics in the song where he ended the song he was singing was saying, wanting his land overtaken. I don't want this to happen, what happened to Hawaii. And he's referring to the poverty and the homelessness of Native Hawaiians, which once again is the same thing that happened to Native Americans on the inland. But I guess we've grown tired of hearing that story. So I want to be clear on this. 80% of the world we live in was conquered and taken from someone at some point. Yes. If it wasn't conquered, it was bought. It was purchased. We had the Louisiana Purchase, is the first one I think of off the top of my head. So that's
Alaska's
how I personally put it. You know what I'm saying? A lot of places were conquered. So the U.S. was conquered. You know what I'm saying? And it is true. It is true that Native Hawaiians and Pacific Islanders are overrepresented in the homelessness in Hawaii compared to their share of the population. Multiple studies have shown Native Hawaiians make up disproportionate share of people experiencing homelessness in the state. This is because of the criminal injustice action by the government. It's rooted in historical displacement, high cost of living, and housing shortages that hit indigenous communities, especially the hardest. It's not because the government's putting their mean thumb on Hawaii. And then the thing is, so when he refers to what happened in Hawaii, he has to be talking about the socioeconomic consequences of tourism-driven real estate pressures, which, if that's what he's referring to, he's right on the head, because Hawaii has been turned into a tourist-driven real estate, and I totally get that. Same with Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico's turned into a tourist-driven real estate, and it's not a literal government eviction policy. But that brings up my next point. Hawaii is one of the 50 states, so it receives full federal funding, like Medicare, Social Security, housing programs, transportation funds, education grants, disaster aid, etc. The same as every other state. That doesn't mean Hawaii obviously is economically secure, and that structure has access to that. Federal programs and safety nets apply directly, which system level it goes in. And Hawaii is at least considered a state, something that Puerto Rico feels the heaviest of that effect when it comes to voting, natural disasters, government sadly running to Puerto Rico like a dictatorship and taking the resources, which would reference sugarcane. But in the U.S., if the U.S. if they want Puerto Rico their independence, then I believe they won't be able to stay afloat. The hard cold truth, they wouldn't be able to stay afloat. And paying taxes for exports and goods, it would work out in their favor. They get federal support, maybe not as much as they want or need or deserve, but they do get some sort of federal support from the U.S.
Let me ask you this,
Jay. To try to go independent.
If Puerto Rico became independent, right, and we said we wash our hands with them, do you mean to tell me not another one of these big countries won't come try to take them over?
That's on the board. That's on the board. Another country will try to come and take them over and, call them a day. So back to that. So the good thing is, if Puerto Rico was to become a country, they self-govern. Puerto Ricans obviously run local affairs already. Independent would give them full sovereignty, and no laws in U.S. federal will be applied to them. But the bad side of it, off the back, you'll have economic challenges. Puerto Rico's economy has struggled for years with a debt crisis, outmigration, and weak GDP growth. Without U.S. economic support, budgets for healthcare, infrastructure, and services would be tight. Next, currency and trade. Since you never belong to the U.S., you got to create your own currency. Let's call it what it is. Puerto Rico's not that big, so the currency is probably going to have low value. So independent Puerto Rico might be its own currency in negotiation to continue to keep the U.S. dollar. That'll be in their best interest to keep the U.S. dollar as their official form of currency. That way they can avoid the risk of inflation and monetary independence. The next on the list, defense. Independent Puerto Rico would have to create its own defense and internal relations system, expensive work for a small nation. I believe instead of fighting for full sovereignty, I can never say that word. Sovereignty. They should fight for statehood, because if you become a state, you get the full support of the U.S. representation and federal benefits of the other states, like Hawaii, who's gets the short end of the stick. The reality is, Hawaii gets more support than Puerto Rico because it's considered a state. So in theory, Puerto Rico could be its own country, but there's no simple path. There's no simple path, and which goes back to the power grids. The unstable electricity is the fact of life on the island, where privatization, uninvestment, and climate change lead the grids on the constant risk of collapse, which is a direct quote from a Puerto Rican article talking about the power issues, which goes on if invested in Puerto Rico is limited, which is honestly is messed up. Shouldn't be that way, but government is going to remove the little money it has if U.S. takes it out. But going independent it will backfire. And another thing too is when he arose from the cornfield, he was holding the Puerto Rican flag. A little note that, obviously most Americans probably didn't catch is he was holding the Puerto Rican flag with the original colors on it. They like to say the Americanized flag now is, the white, and the blue though is navy blue to represent the U.S. to be similar to the U.S. flag. Their original blue is like a light blue, like almost like a baby blue. But the thing is, they were forced to adopt that, becoming purchased by the U.S., which, not even purchased, getting, because there was a Treaty of Paris. Once the Treaty of Paris was signed, Spain gave over that to us, and the U.S. colonized them, like they did with Guam, like they did with Philippines. They did the same thing to those two places. If you look up their flags, there's a colonized version by the U.S., and then it's their original version. So, saying you want your sovereignty is like how it was given to the Philippines. So I don't know. I just, it's a lot to that. And there's another misconception. It's a little boy at the end that he gives a Grammy to. And a lot of people was like, oh, it's Liam Canelo Ramos, who was detained by ICE, which isn't true. He's a child actor named Lincoln Fox Ramadan. And at the end of all this, he says, Puerto Rico, we are still here. And he's walking out with basically saying all these places make up America, which is true. All these different places make up America, which makes America great, in my opinion. But it's funny because to me, that point didn't hit as far as it would if he didn't include the U.S. flag.
Thanks, Caleb.
He had flags from all these Hispanic countries, and he had the U.S. flag. I think he should have not included the U.S. flag because that would have stood out. That would have stood out so much, it would have had to be talked about. So it's like you're putting up, it's like he's doing it softly. He's not full force going into it. And I just feel like that would have definitely been a better move to do that.
Wow. So
and
what are your
thoughts? I personally don't like,
What are your thoughts after breaking all that down?
I mean, I'm big on all or nothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted him to go deeper into it. I wanted him to really paint that picture. But he painted the picture in a way that it's not going to be caught, unless that's what he wanted. That's what makes art beautiful. Art is only, to the eye of the beholder. So us ignorant Americans who's watching, we see is this megastar on stage dry humping for 30 minutes, opposed to portraying the point that he's trying to do. I never care for people from other countries coming to the U.S. and complaining how much the U.S. sucks compared to their home country, like they're forced to be here. You're more than welcome to go and relinquish your passport. No one's forcing you to be in the U.S. That's one of the beautiful things about the U.S. You don't have to stay here. You're free to leave. And another thing too, which once again I think hurts his message, the wedding on stage. You remember that?
Yeah.
All the reporting I'm finding, it was an actual wedding.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. That was my favorite part.
So it was an actual wedding. You're doing all this still story. You have a wedding on stage, which made no sense. It didn't go with the message to me personally. It didn't make any sense. Of course, saying it was an actual wedding and Bad Bunny himself was the witness to the wedding. And my final closing point is: does Puerto Rico think they dislike? Do you think they're the only people that's disliked? Because niggas is disliked in the U.S. too. Like the entire performance was in Spanish, so unless you're a Spanish speaker, you're not going to fully get the message, so it doesn't hit the same. Like I said, all we saw is a megastar just popping his hips for 30 minutes, and then is this. And another thing too is he's acting like the Latin community doesn't get any praise, especially in New York when they had the bodega lady. When they have a yearly Latin parade and shut down the whole damn city of New York. So it's like I don't get it. I don't get it at all, man. I don't get it. So overall, as an artistic display, I give it a 2.7 out of 5. I felt like certain things that he missed on. I felt like I love that he included, he started, I love how he started off. He started off with the sugar cane. Like, he's like, we jumping straight into it. So I'm like, okay, let's get to it. Like, like I said last week, I knew it was going to be political, so I was ready for it. I love art in all forms, so I was ready for it. I really want him to dive deep, but then he started jumping over. He didn't keep it in Puerto Rico. He jumped from Puerto Rico to New York when he had the flash of the Williamsburg thing, which is cool, you know, because that's Puerto Rican, so you're keeping it on brand. And then you started getting off brand with the wedding, and then it's I don't know. And then you have people on stage that's not Puerto Rican. Like, is Jessica Alba Puerto Rican or is she a mutt? I think she's mixed with like 14 different things. She was on stage. I didn't understand that. Cardi B is not from Puerto Rico. She's from New York. So I guess that ties into the trend of the Puerto Rican community in New York. I don't know. Obviously, his music is his music. People are going to love his music. But as far as getting the point across and delivering the message, I feel like those missed opportunities. Like I said, if he would have not included the U.S. flag, I think that would have really drove the point home. But
then, did you see the ball that said "We stand together" and all that stuff? We love America and that stuff at the end. But after you, I'm telling you this, you broke down something that a lot of people didn't think about. Like, a lot of people just seen it. They're like, "Man, this is great art," and you break it down, and you're like, "Man, this is deep." Like, a lot of us didn't understand that this was going on.
And that's why he brought it to light, which I'm all for. I love that he brought it to light. Honestly, Money, did you know about Puerto Rico's crisis before I explained it to you?
I know about the electricity because I thought that was part of when they were talking about the hurricane, one of the hurricanes, and
it was a thing too, because they had the hurricane, and sadly just didn't send as much relief help as they needed. And so it dragged on. It was a long time it took them to recover from it. And I think that goes back to them being a territory of U.S. opposed to a state. I think they should push for statehood, not necessarily full independence. Because there's so much that goes into that sadly, as a small country as they would be classified as, I don't think they could survive on their own.
Let's just say this, Jay. Say if Florida was a territory, as an example, right? The U.S. would drag their feet if anything happened to Florida compared to Florida's a state. We need to get there now type of thing. So that's why they drag their feet, because, they're a territory, not a state. And I agree. I always wonder. I was like, why has Puerto Rico never wanted to become a state? That was always a question I always wondered. And I was like, they like their independence, but they like the having us having their back too. It seems like they want their cake and eat it too type of situation.
Correct. And from what I've seen from the research I've done, it tends to be a more, I would say 60-40 crowd. 60% saying they want to be independent and 40 saying they push for statehood. So it just comes down to it. But I mean, I felt like I said, at the end of the day, I felt like he had a lot of potential to do different things. The biggest thing, obviously, I'm happy he didn't do was wear a dress, because you're making all these political points and then you up there in the dress. That kills the whole message. So I'm glad he took it that serious. But yeah, I mean, I feel like this was a missed opportunity for him.
Hey, what's good, man? Tell Ron thanks. We appreciate you coming and watching. Jabbar.
I don't know who that is. But what else? What comments did you have about it?
Well, I'll say I heard that a lot of people complained. They're like, well, we don't understand, what he's saying and this and that. So I'll say that's what I've been hearing. But I'll say it had a lot of art. I'll say I'm more critical about some of the commercials also than just a halftime show, because some of the commercials didn't make any sense to me. And with the show,
it never make any sense. That's the point. They get you to talk about it.
Jay, you asked me this one.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't watch the Super Bowl for commercials. Like, when the game goes on commercial break, I'm on my phone. So Money Mike can answer that one.
It was okay. That one wasn't really memorable to me. I'll talk about.
Do you remember seeing it, or you just saying it's okay?
I don't remember it. There's two that I remember distinctly, And I'll talk about that in a little bit. We're gonna get through this Puerto Rico thing and then with the halftime show, and then I'll talk about the commercials because I do have two distinct commercials that I really think I have to talk about.
Okay. But yeah, I mean, that's all I have. Is there anything you had questions about? Anything?
I like that you explained it because there was a lot of things that you can make a difference with explaining this. Okay. So we're going to commercial. We're talking about the commercials now. Talking about the different commercials.
And that's why we didn't go live the day after, because I wanted to make sure I had all my facts straight on everything I'm saying. I never want to be misinformed on something.
Yeah, I'm gonna make this because we're going to commercials now, y'all. Okay, so this is what JU said. If you lose your dog,
you can post a picture online, and every Ring camera is now connected, so we'll use AI to find your dog, but doesn't feel like that's all it can be used for. Oh yeah, absolutely. Government been spying on us, bro. You see these beautiful phones here that scan your face online? That's nothing new. he thought the government just started spying on us.
I think it's cool, but not cool at the same time because everybody's I don't know if I want to use that function of it. But since we're talking about commercials, the two ones I like. Do you want me to talk about my favorite or the one I like the least?
Let's start from your least favorite to your favorite.
Okay, the least favorite was Mike Tyson was in the commercial. It was called the Maha Center Inc. And it was talking about the Maha Real Food by Mike Tyson, right? And so he's talking about how the food isn't real and this and that. He's like, yeah, I used to be 345 pounds or something like that. And I'm like, when has Mike Tyson been fat? Bigger.
He was, when he first retired, yeah.
He was 345, he was bigger.
I don't know the exact weight, but he was big. He was terribly out of shape. Then he decided to get his life together and started working out again.
345? I didn't know he got there.
I don't know if he was that big, but he was terribly out of shape though.
Because he was like, yeah, man. And so I started eating his real food now. And now I'm a lot smaller. And I'm like, I didn't know he was 345. I don't ever remember that. And
I mean, I actually like that commercial. I liked it because it's true. A lot of the food we eat, it's just terrible for us, Everything's processed. It's hard to find. Like, that's why I don't eat out as much. If I eat out, I'm going to a restaurant where I hope they at least cooking it fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like, I try not to eat as much fast food. It's too many videos out there with fast food, and it's too many videos of people ordering food and somebody mess with you. So very rarely will I do fast food. If I do eat out, I'm going to a restaurant where I'm under the impression that the food is made fresh.
Because he was like bringing out stats. He's like, a lot of Americans is morbidly obese and stuff like that.
That's what he was talking about. One of the most obese countries in the world.
And I'm gonna say this: my favorite was the Budweiser one. And I joked with my uncle. I was like, "Hey, Uncle, you need a raise because they got commercials on TV." You remember the horse and eagle one?
Yeah.
That was that was my favorite one, man. I love that one. Like, as you seen the horse with the little bird and everything, and he's taking care of him, making sure he's good. And then at the end, you see a horse with wings. You're like, what the freak? The horse got wings. And it's the eagle actually flying up behind him. It's like, man, he took care of the eagle. I mean, till he became an adult. And I thought that one was so dope, man. I love that one.
What else? You got any more you like?
That was really the only two that I really paid attention to mainly. I remember there was a whole bunch of Budweisers and stuff, but I don't drink. We ain't really heavy drinkers. I'll say there was a few cool ones and everything, but like you, I'll look at the commercial, look the first 5 seconds, and be like, Oh, and by the way, talking about commercials, right?
You were supposed to be a commercial,
bro. How about this, bro?
They even had the guy. You love The Office. They had the bald guy in a commercial.
bruh. I
You
love
didn't
the
see it, did you?
I probably missed it. I'm gonna be honest with you. I missed a few commercials. I'll say this though. I learned that the budgets that it could cost for those commercials, bro, is about it could cost 8 to 10 million for those commercials, for
Yeah.
30-second commercial.
Mm-hmm. It used to be cheaper because I remember back in the day, this one guy basically took his life savings to buy a 20-second ad in the Super Bowl, and it was costing like I think $800,000 or $1 million for his ad, and he did it, and it was the most unremarkable commercial ever. And it's like I feel for him because it's like, damn, you put so much into this, and it's like, did you get any business tick? Did you get any positive net from this? And I don't think he did.
Wow. Wow. That's crazy. That's crazy to think about, man.
Yeah, that's a lot of money.
3 million. Shoot. I mean, 1 million. I wish the best for him, bro. I wish the best for him for that because
like I said, it was when we was kids, but I really remember the dude doing it because it was like in the news and everything.
Hey, we gotta actually check out that one and come back with stats and talk about, hey, was he successful after that or not?
No, what was it last year? Yeezy had a 30 or 45-second commercial of him filming himself in the car saying, go to Yeezy.com and buy my stuff. But it worked. He said he got a 10% increase in sales from it.
Hey, that's a win, bro.
Exactly. That's all you want.
I remember a few years ago they had them Eminem commercials. I love those Eminem commercials, bro. Eminem always has cool commercials. And I didn't see any this year. You see the Pringle commercial, all that, man. No, I'm trying to see them Eminem commercials, bro.
You got a weird obsession with Eminem, sir. You know there's like an Eminem store in New York, right?
What, an Eminem store?
It's like upstairs and downstairs.
All right, bro, I'm gonna come visit you so you take me around now.
We've been waiting a while for you to come visit, bro. You ain't came yet, so we'll see when that day happens.
Hey, bro, I'm coming to the Eminem store, bro. I'm gonna get me an Eminem t-shirt.
Dude gonna fly in and go straight there. He ain't even gonna swing by. I was like, what are you doing? Oh, I'm in New York, bro. I was like, what you mean you in New York? Yeah, I'm in New York.
No, I swing by
like
first.
All different color M&Ms. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot of M&M stuff.
Hey, we gotta ask him. Does anybody else have anything they'd like us to talk about? Any concerns? Anything, regarding the halftime show, the game? Any of the cool commercials that you liked? Make sure you all subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. That's our goal. Like, comment, and subscribe. Well, we got a good amount of comments, which we really like and enjoy.
Yes, thank you for leaving comments. Did we go through them all?
Everyone except for what Jared said. I ain't gonna put that up there, bro.
Okay,
Due time.
It is.
Yeah, it do say next year they might as well do Bill Cosby.
All right, you guys. Thank you for coming out with us. We appreciate it so much. My name is Jason HD, aka Two Wavy Jason. We'll be back at Friday, 5:30 p.m.
I'm F Money for short. We appreciate all you all.
Yes.
We really enjoyed this live. We decided, hey, let's
too, but we appreciate the turnout for sure.
Yes. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Send to friends and everything because we appreciate every single thing. Oh, shoot.
What did you do?
I don't know, bro. I'll say, make sure. What's it doing this?
All right, just end it, bro. Y'all have a nice day. Peace.
Thank you. We appreciate everything.